to our first facilitator. I can see one of our facilitators clapping in a very special way. I believe you are impacted, and I believe I have a strong feeling, sir, Dr. Peter. I have it in my heart that some of the things you heard today got to you in a very special way. And I also have it in my heart, things that I have this prophetic ability. I know my district governor will not let you go without giving you a pin. So be prepared, you put a lot of these things into practice. And just prophesy it. I do not have the powers, but I'm sure nobody will let you go from here. These are some of those small things about me people don't know. Thank you. Like they would always ask, so have we met before? Have you ever been to my office? So thank you very much. That was membership, attract and retain. We're going to be listening to more. The next is going to be very interesting because there are too many questions presidents do not have answers to. And the bulk of these questions border around raising funds. Those that we hear. When it has to no better person will talk to us about that than a man who is considered as one of the highest donors to Rotary Foundation in Africa. A man who is a past district governor, leader by excellence, that has given so much to Rotary. Earlier it was announced that he donated $10,000 to Rotary Foundation, but many of us here do not know that he's AKS, which means he has committed over $250,000 to Rotary. He is a man that is very passionate about Rotary. So I would like us to pay attention and listen to him speak about Rotary Foundation strategies for fundraising. Fellow Rotarians, ladies and gentlemen, I present the past district governor, Jide Akeredolu. If you have questions for the first speaker, please put your questions. We're going to be taking all the questions together so that to save time. And after this, we're going to be going into a very special session. But first, let's listen to the man who knows Rotary Foundation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. District Governor, District Level Facilitator, District Governor. I think I missed the protocol. District Governor, District Governor nominee. Do you know how they do it in Rotary? You have to be the present and then the future and then the past. How many of you know that before now? That's how you follow protocol in Rotary. Fellow Rotarians, I'll be talking on a very big topic, which is the Rotary Foundation. And when they told me that they would join Rotary Foundation and then fundraising strategies, that will take about 3 hours. So, I'm concentrating on talking about the Rotary Foundation, and that's what you have there on the screen. Rotary Foundation doing good in the world. And for you to understand the Rotary Foundation very well, you need to tell the story of the Rotary Foundation so that you can follow exactly how the Rotary Foundation came about. First, yes, you have the mission of the Rotary Foundation. The mission is to enable Rotarians to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through the improvement of health, the support of education, and the alleviation of poverty. And then they added a new one, protecting the environment. You know, they are not talking about global warming and climate change and all the works. And that has now been added to the vision of the Rotary Foundation. But how did the Rotary Foundation come about? And that's the man, Archibald Cooper. He is very there to be the founder of the Rotary Foundation. And he was a charter member of Rotary Club of Seattle in the US in 1910. Very well, I got that in 1910. And he became president in 1913. and he became RI president in 1916. Very rapid. I wish they could have something like that now. But all our RI presidents grow very old and with gray hair before they even become district governors, let alone RI president. Was a very interesting chap, and he was credited during his valedictory service, valedictory speech in 1917, when he was about to hand over, made a speech, and this is an excerpt of that speech, which is thought to be what founded what we now call, the beginning of the Rotary Foundation. He said, "We have called the attention of the organization this year to the possibility of a future endowment for Rotary. Carried on as we are a miscellaneous community service, it seems eminently proper that we should accept endowments for the purpose of doing good in the world, a charitable, educational, and other avenues of community progress." That's just an excerpt of the speech, and that was what is now credited to be what founded what we now call the Rotary Foundation. I'm sure when he was looking into it, he never knew that would be one of the biggest aspects of Rotary ever. And in fact, when you read his memoirs, he actually did not even mention the Rotary Foundation as one of his achievements, which was very, strange. Yes, I remember he mentioned that he was the one that brought out the creation of districts in Rotary. Before then, they were just all clubs and they were all mounted together. And then, I think he also mentioned the creation of the European office, and that they had in Paris. I never even mentioned the Rotary Foundation, but this is what everybody now remembers him for. Now, I've listed a few things here at the timeline of how Rotary Foundation evolved into what it is now, today. In 1917, as I mentioned, just in the speech of Vice Clown, the Rotary Foundation was an endowment fund. And then in 1918, before the donation of $26.50 from the Rotary Club of Kansas City, you'll be hearing a lot about $26.50 when you hear about the Rotary Foundation. And a lot of myths have grown from that $26.50. This was the story that we grew up with, that Rotary Club of Kansas City, because they were the hosts of the convention in 1918. So this was the balance after the event of what they had, and they asked them they should donate it to what Ashclump mentioned. But some of you who've been in Rotary for some time, if you were at the 2017 convention in Atlanta, that was the centenary of the Rotary Foundation, the Rotary Club of Kansas City had a booth there, and they actually now gave the true story about the origin of the $26.50. That's what actually happened, was that the delegation from Kansas City to Atlanta then was given $100 to buy some memento or some gifts for the outgoing RI president. So they bought it, and they had a change of $26.50. And being diligent Rotarians, when they came back to their club, and they now said, okay, this is the change from the $100 you gave us to buy. And the president said, well, I think there was something this man was talking about in the valedictory speech. And I said, because we've already signed up for $100, so send the $26.50, and that is how so the Rotary Foundation came about. When you have something very good, a lot of stories, a lot of myths grow around it, and that tells you how significant the Rotary Foundation is now. But it was just growing slowly, and you can see in 1928, when it was now restructured, it was restructured during the Minneapolis Convention. They only had $5,000, a little bit more, since 2017. So very little contribution was going into it, but they decided to restructure it and now making some call it the Rotary Foundation. In 1930, the foundation made its first grant of $500 to the International Society of Crippled Children. When I see that, it tells me that Rotary has been coming in contact with polio for much earlier than when we thought it was. We all think about Rotary taking up polio in 1985, but that's not the fact, because these were polio victims. They, have a society that takes care of them, and they have their fourth donation there. But another significant aspect of the growth of Rotary came in 1947 when Paul Harris died. A lot of emotion, swept through the whole world, and then donations were coming in to Atlanta and to Evanston. And they raised more than $2 million by the Rotary Foundation trustee chair then. And that's when the Rotary Foundation took off. And they were able to now start giving grants, big grants, and supporting a lot of projects all over the place. Now these are the various areas you can contribute to when you want to contribute to the Rotary Foundation. The Annual Programs Fund, which is the popular one, that's what all of us know about. The Paul Harris Fellow, the ERI that you all do. When you contribute to ERI or when you contribute to the you become a Paul Harris Fellow, you will have contributed to the Annual Programs Fund. The Annual Programs Fund, its money is collected, it is actually invested for 3 years, and then it's now brought out and spent as grants. But that template, that's the template for the Rotary Foundation for spending contributions. When contributions come in, it is invested so that the little investment that comes into that, they use it to run the organization. And then at the end of the 3-year cycle, the money is spent as grants. But that template immediately brought out a problem, because they found out that they have a lot of ongoing projects that go on that need to be funded year in, year out. If by chance there is a shortfall in contributions in 1 year, the Rotary Foundation will have problems in 3 years' time. And so that is what made them to create what they call the endowment fund. It was originally called the permanent fund. The endowment fund, you contribute to it just like you contribute to the Annual Programs Fund. But when you want to take money from the endowment fund, you are only allowed to take the interest alone, not the whole sum, so that you always have the principal amount being retained. There are some years they don't even touch it. If a lot of money came in to the Annual Programs Fund, they don't touch it. But sometimes when there's a shortfall, they just know that they have that interest that they can claim off and use to support the Annual Programs Fund. And in that way, the Annual Programs Fund ensures stability of the Rotary Foundation, so that they can have projects that are going on worldwide for years on end, where that even though they don't have enough money this year, their projects will not suffer. The polio cost fund, the money goes directly to the polio cost, to the polio eradication program. And then you then have this direct project funding. Now, if you, for example, have a global grant that you are doing in your club, and you want to support it by giving money to the foundation, you can have a fund and then go through the investment cycle. You just need to give them the global grant number and say, yes, I want to support this global grant. It has to be a project that is being processed as a global grant. And you can afford it. You will still get your PHF, you still get your major donor, you still get everything. but it can go directly to your club's project. So that is a new way that many people are allowed to support the Rotary Foundation and support their own specific project, in the same way. Now, we all know all these things. This is the things you use to recognize donors to the Rotary Foundation. That is the basic PHF pin. How many people are PHFs and above here? Oh, that's very substantial. Thank you for supporting the Rotary Foundation. And but they are coherent fellows and they are coherent fellows. That is the way I put it. They are minor ones. If you contribute an extra $1,000, you have a sapphire that is added to your OP. You added $2,000, you have 2 sapphires, 3 sapphires, 4 sapphires, 5, and then 1 ruby, 2 rubies, 3 rubies that you can add on. So when somebody says he's harassing you with his own OAHFP, you look at it very well. Which one is your or a better PHF? Who has a PHFP with sapphires on it? Yeah, so that you will say, yes, my own is a superior PHF compared with your own. But that is how you grade various PHF levels. But when you go, okay, yeah, that is for the endowment fund. The endowment fund now, we call those who contribute to the endowment fund benefactors, not Paul Harris fellows. They are benefactors. You get this attachment, which you can attach to your PHF pin or to an ordinary Rotary pin. Yeah. And so you occasionally see people put their PHF pin and they have that attachment. So you know they are both Paul Harris fellows and benefactors together. Now the next one, the polio plus one, is all one that is just spent directly for the polio eradication program. Now for the big boys, so you have, if your contribution either to the annual program fund or to the endowment fund or the polio or direct program fund, their total amount reaches $10,000, you become what we call a major donor. And the major donor, there are also various levels of major donor recognition. With 1 sapphire, you are level 1. With 2 sapphire, you are level 2. That's 25,000 and above to 50,000. And level 3 is 50,000 to 100,000. And level 4 is 100,000 to 500. They don't do level 5 and level 6 anymore. So it stops at level 4. Now you also have a unique way of contributing to the Rotary Foundation. It's not very popular here because we don't do wills. We think we will live forever, and because in this you actually mention the Rotary Foundation, or you give them something in your will, so that the money does not get to the Rotary Foundation at the time you pass away. And so if you put the Rotary Foundation in your will for an amount $10,000 or above, and you can send a note to them that you have mentioned them in your will. Okay, maybe that property, you give it, they come and they value it. And when the value is more than $10,000, you become a member of the bequest society. So many of them with properties, the one you give, maybe you give the one in Surulere to your wife, you give the one in Banana Island to your side chick, and the one in Ikeja, usually the side chick get better properties than the wife. But in Rotary Foundation, you just mention it, and it can be anything, it can be you know, cash, it can be, property, it can be bonds, it can be shares, you just give. But another innovative way people give to the bequest society or become members of the bequest society is to have a life insurance, a whole life insurance, which you name the Rotary Foundation as the beneficiary. And so that when at least the sum assured should be at least $10,000. So that when you pass away or the money matures, $10,000 go to the Rotary Foundation. And there are quite a few people I know in this district that are actually done that one. They just have their life insurance and change the beneficiary with the Rotary Foundation, and they let the Rotary Foundation know, and they will become members of the bequest society. Now the Scrum Society, that is the pinnacle of the recognitions you have for the Rotary Foundation. Those who have contributed the sum of 250,000 and above are named as members of the Scrum Society. Yes, you have an elaborate ceremony. You have your picture engraved in glass and with a light shining behind. Many of you have been to embassy. You go to the 17th floor, you will see all the members, pictures here. And it's really quite, a very beautiful thing. And they have that desk. They brought it so that people can see all the members of the Scrum Society on that and convention. But this is at the 17th floor of the Rotary Center in Embassy. The Rotary Center, not the one in Ikeja. The Rotary Center in Embassy in Chicago. Okay, that's me about 2014 when I joined the Scrum Society. That's what yes, there are also various levels of Scrum Society member. So if your contribution gets to 500,000, you now go to the chair circle of the Scrum Society, and when it goes above 1 million, you are now in the foundation circle. There's one member of the foundation circle of the Scrum Society in Nigeria, that's Sai Bekao. Have you heard about him lately yet? He has contributed $1 million to the Rotary Foundation. Now, every Rotarian every year, this is the bare minimum that the Rotary Foundation expects every Rotarian to contribute, $100. I am surprised how few, people, because this is what makes you a real Rotarian. It's not a compulsory dues that you pay. We all know that if you don't pay your dues, you are chucked out of Rotary immediately. But you'll be able to do better than that. That's what makes you a real Rotarian. Pay $100 every year. Before you know it, you become a Paul Harris Fellow. So it's the bare minimum that Rotary expects every member to contribute every year. And these are the various individual recognitions. You should be able to have yourself in one of those lists. Rotary Foundation sustaining members, those are people who pay every because they're sustaining members. And benefactor, we talked about that. Those are for people who contribute to the endowment from Paul Harris Fellows, multiple Paul Harris Fellows with various sapphires and rubies. A Paul Harris Society member. You are a member of the Paul Harris Society when you contribute at least $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation every year. So they are an elite group of Rotarians who are members of the Paul Harris Society. The Bequest Society here, those who have contributed $10,000 in their will or their insurance fund, the major donor and the Scrum Society. Now that's individual recognitions and club recognitions. So you should aspire that your club should be at least one of the 100% Paul Harris Fellows, those who the average contribution that they have should be at least $1,000 per member, with each member contributing at least a quarter of that. The same thing with the cooperative society, every member is contributing $1,000 to the revenue. I know of clubs in this district or 9111 where they will not even accept you as a member unless you have contributed $1,000 to the foundation. So that cements the fact that all the members will be Paul Harris fellows all the time. But in clubs, you barely pay the admission fee and you become a guest, especially if you yourself. Now we've talked about raising the money. How is the money spent? They have a structure, a very elaborate structure to disburse the funds of the Rotary Foundation. A board of trustees manages the business of the foundation led by the trustee chair. The Rotary International President-elect nominates the trustees who are elected by the Rotary International Board of Directors. Trustee chair serves for 1 year and the trustee serves for 4 years. We have a trustee member, PDG Okoro, from now on forward, and the present Rotary Foundation trustee chair, Oja, now it's coming into Nigeria on 1st of November. Yeah, that's right. So I'll actually visit the project we are doing. That's how important the Rotary Foundation takes Nigeria. We are the biggest donors to the Rotary Foundation in Africa, by a wide margin. All the money donated to the foundation are invested in various high-yielding ventures like stocks, bonds, real estate, etc., as advised by the trustees for a period of 3 years. And after 3 years, the fund becomes available for disbursement as grants, just like I explained. And how does the money go? The annual programs fund, the money that comes out of the annual fund, is actually divided into two. And half stays in Never State as what they call the World Fund. And another half is sent back to the district where the money was originally contributed 3 years ago as DDF. You will hear about DDF in your journey through Rotary about district designated fund. That is money that is sent to the district governor for him to spend the way he likes. Because he knows what obtains on the ground. He's the closest to the club in the district, and the area officer, the money is sent to him, and then discusses it. It used to be 50%, it's now 45%. They split 55% out of it because they discovered the cost of running this one. The fund has become so big. You have accountants, you have auditors, you have investment managers, and so on and so forth. So it's become a costly fund to run. So they have to take 5% from each one, the world fund and the district designated fund, so that they use that fund to run the club. But for you to understand it, you just take it that the money that comes out is just divided into two. And one half stays with RI and the other half comes back to the district. And then the endowment fund, just like I said, only the interest is taken out. And it's not every year that they take it out. So some years they don't need it because they have enough funds in the other programs fund. And the polio plus fund is spent directly on the polio eradication program. And then, how does the money go? In form of district grants. District grants are for small projects, and it's handled at the district level. There's no club that should not be able to get a district grant. The requirements are so easy. You just need to attend the grant management seminar and you sign the memorandum of understanding. That memorandum of understanding is very, very critical, because after you've attended the seminar, they tell you all the do's and don'ts about how to handle donors' funds. And because they don't have mercy on any club that mismanages donors' funds. So okay. How many minutes? Okay, that's right. I will run through. District grants, you have a very simple, and then global grants, those are for big projects, 30,000 or above. And then you have scale grants. That's a new grant in which you are giving $2 million. If you've been doing the global grants on a particular topic regularly, and you can demonstrate that you can scale it up to a national level, and you have the infrastructure, obviously the government participation and participation of other donor agencies. And any person that gets it, usually you get another $3 million from the bill and Malaysia gets. So you have $5 million to do your project. But they give only one every year, and it's very competitive. But it's done online, and we have one by Nigeria already. And then disaster relief grants. Those are simple grants that you can have. If you have any disaster in your area, just inform the Rotary Foundation. They will send you $25,000. I remember when there was COVID, I was DG and we applied for it's within a week, the check came through. And so it's you can't manufacture a disaster, it should be the news anyway. So it's because I just say, yeah, this disaster, this flood, this earthquake or something like that is there, and you can get the basic grant. Yeah, those are the global grants, those are the differences between global grants and basic grants. I'll just breeze through. To qualify a club, you know, you need to sign up for you send at least one member to the seminar, and these are the guidelines, you know, you can go through them before. And I don't have time for that. Restrictions, you cannot use it to deploy any group, support religious, serve as a contribution. And the next one, that's number 6. You know, some people get global grant money, and then they don't do the project again. They go and use it to make themselves PHF. When they catch them, they ask, we didn't see the money. They pay the foundation. And yeah, there was a club in India that was discovered abundantly down there, PHF was cancelled. And the money was taken back. So you cannot, you have to use it for the project that is funded and interested. And those are the other things. Yes, you don't need to have that one. Yeah, the charity navigator. This is an old slide because now you know you've all heard about the charity navigator, but that's the organization that monitors charities to know whether you are really having an impact and how scrupulous you are, your accountability, your transparency, and so on and so forth. And they have ways of measuring very, very scrupulous analysis of your books. And then they give you either 1 star or 2 star or 3 star or 4 star rating. I don't know of any organization in Nigeria that has even 1 star rating, they have 0 stars. But to tell you how difficult it is, the American Red Cross, the United States has never been able to get above 3 star rating. Ever. They've tried, and they struggled, they don't go above 3 star rating. But the Rotary Foundation has got a 3 star rating, and since last week, we got our 17th continuous 4 star rating. 4 star rating back to back for the last 17 years, 4 star rating. And that's something you can use to market the Rotary Foundation. And this is a very transparent, organization. And if you want your money to go to where you want it, please donate to the Rotary Foundation. And those are the areas of focus. I think we all know about that one. And what's that? What's this?
Prevention.
Yeah, for you, What is that one?
Economic development.
What about that?
Education.
What about this? This one. And that one. Okay, I'll let it pass. Thank you very much.
We can do better with a round of applause. I just reached out to my account officer. I think I'll be making my donations. I'll do AKS. after this meeting, but I need to check my accounts to see what's in it. Because I think you should also do the same. Any problems anywhere there? Come again? Nothing in the account. The spirit is willing, the flesh is weak. Your life will move on and Rotary will go on. A very big thank you to Past District Governor Jide Akeredolu for that beautiful. And now I want to assure you that after this, the resource materials, the slides, will be shared on the district platform for us to be able to assess. And because some of these information we have here, can be very useful, especially for clubs that look forward to growing in areas of Rotary Foundation participation. Thank you very much, sir. It's actually beautiful to know that with the things that we do here in Rotary, where we touch lives without even getting to know those persons, agencies that regulate these things also appreciate the efforts that we're making, and we have such beautiful rating that places a lot of persons having confidence in what we do as Rotarians. Thank you very much. Very quickly before we go on, I'll recognize the presence of the number one citizen amongst the Rotaractors, the DRR Rotarian, Ismail Atitabi. Thank you very much for joining us. Good to have you, DRR. Thank you. And the other person walked in. Thank you very much. And good to have the next. We've been sitting for too long. We're going to have take a Rotary song. We'll take a Rotary song and then we'll have our tea break. This is just to lighten the mood here very quickly. So we're going to take a song and we're going to try something very new. Coincidentally, I am the chairman of the district committee for SAA, and like some clubs do it, we're going to have a Rotary song. SAA, thank you, it's important. Sergeant at Arms. That's what it is. And I'm sure every club has Sergeant at Arms. So we're going to stand and we're going to donate the song. But we're going to do something before we stand up. We're going to do something we've not been doing before.